Okay, so we are
Fire,
back.
cause not known. Prevent the fire from spreading and extinguish it.
Fire, cause unknown. Seems like a nature fire, minor fire. So we will take a nature fire, minor fire. That will result in the engine from Station 2, Pelby, getting the fire call. I'm sorry, Diogo, I didn't see your message before. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I don't want to do a highway modification, because emergency and two-way streets is just a bad combination. So I would love to do a modification where you can actually use some kind of highway, but emergency just isn't really cooperative in that way. Like you can see, the firefighters are slowly getting to the station, preparing to respond. Beautiful Falcon engine. I think I actually have a secret for you guys that I can tell you in a week or so. I have a couple of stuff that needs to fall into place, and then I have something to share with you guys. Some news about my life. You're gonna set up the hose, run as fine as you can. You guys follow along. Need to prevent the fire from actually spreading over to the buildings. Did people actually try the new Polish modification? I saw that a new, very realistic modification from Poland has been released. They have a Facebook page somewhere. I haven't tried it myself yet, but I've seen a lot of videos from it. It looks super cool and super realistic. Have any of you guys tried it, and is it actually worth trying? Yeah, we will find some way to find out who should play with me on a live stream someday. Just haven't had the time. Like you guys probably know by now, I have had quite some busy weeks, and they're only about to get busier. So my priorities have not really been with live streaming with fans, even though I would really enjoy doing it. How is it with water? 65%. I think we actually have to call in a tanker for this before we run out of water. Oh yeah, people say it's worth it. Yeah, I would love to try it. You can send me the link, sure thing. I actually think I follow their Facebook page. Slowly gonna cut away these hedges when we actually extinguish them, so it doesn't spread again. Seems like we had the fire pretty much under control. 35% water. I think that I am not going to connect it up, because then I will have to fill up 2 vehicles. Hello, Fluffy Josie, and welcome to the team. Thank you very much for following me here on Twitch. You guys actually following me and these notifications is what keeps my motivation up for actually doing this. So thank you very much, I really appreciate it. %. We should have enough water to complete the mission. Slowly but surely. How much water do we have now? Ha! 7%. Calculated risk.
Vehicle fire caused by a technical defect. Extinguish the fire and if necessary treat all casualties and take them away.
Vehicle fire. That will be a response for... I think it's actually just going to be the fast response unit. And then a police vehicle. You up to the hydrant. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot to change it over 1 second. I don't actually think I remember to to actually switch it over a single time yet. Basically, when I start streaming, I set it, the game as Northrop 112 because that's what I'm playing. And then when I switch over to Emergency 4, I always forget to switch over on Twitch. That's unfortunate, but you know, it's life. I actually have it written down on a piece of paper right next to me. Remember to switch the game on Twitch, and I forgot it anyways. Call in a tow truck. How far are you? 48. I actually saw one of these tow trucks some days ago. They're actually not as common as I was hoping. I mean, they are around the country, but these are still more common. So I actually saw one of these for the first time, I think. A couple of days ago. %. You are the best YouTuber. I do not think so, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that my 1,000 followers does not compare to some of the bigger YouTubers. I just enjoy showing you guys what I'm doing. And the work I'm doing actually. It's a shame that there's not a game like Emergency 4 that's just newer, so we can actually develop some more on it and make it better. If now you guys could decide for a third game modification to play today, after this one, and you could choose between Helping Peter, RTS modification, AT modification, Aarhus Modification. Which one would you choose? Basically, you could just choose any of the modifications I've done. I think there's also a London modification somewhere in there. But if you could choose a modification that I have done to play after this for around 20 minutes, what should it be? Yeah, well, somebody mentions that you have to restart the game from scratch if you want to play it again after a trial. I know that. I could potentially fix it, but the amount of work I would have to do to fix it compared to the amount of time it would take just to restart the game just doesn't add up at the moment. I think I did it for version 1.0, but I included a lot of more detailed scripts for 1.1. I will look into it, but I cannot promise you that I will actually be able to make the mod playable twice. You probably have to restart between the games. Okay, so I'm getting the feeling from the chat that people want to see AT modification again. We can do that, no problem. Then hopefully we can get some different missions this time. Like I said, I think there's 10 different missions at the moment. And I think we saw 2 of them last time, because all of them just happened to come in twice. Wow. You always get forest fires and medical calls. You can just go into the settings and turn them off if you don't want forest fires. Building fire industrial. Then we will send along some police. Could probably also use an ambulance. Darted to the scene. So like you guys probably have noticed by now, this fire always spreads this way, so this is actually the real risk. I'm glad that you enjoy what I'm doing. I still think that there are modders a lot better than me. For instance, Hopper, the guy behind the Los Angeles mod. I mean, all of the scripts he has done is basically universal. Like, you can take any of his scripts and then just use them in any modification. And that's a talent that I do not have. Like, the scripts I do are so specialized that you cannot just copy them to another modification. And I really admire the way that he's doing it, because he can just, like, all his scripts are used in all modifications. I just find that awesome. I think we're gonna attack here from the south. Yeah, the guys behind the Winterberg modification, they revolutionized the entire thing. Bieberfelde is actually what got me into multiplayer. Before Bieberfelde, I actually refused to play multiplayer. I just thought it was too sloppy. Like, there was I couldn't get it to work correctly, and all the awesome scripts from single player was just not transformed into multiplayer. So what the guys did with the Bieberfeld is really admirable from my perspective. Okay, so we'll close off the roads. Yeah, there's no doubt we need a secondary engine up here. I don't think we can do much else about this fire before the second engine arrives. The fire spread down here is not that dangerous for us. I think we'll just hook up the tanker to the engine, and then once the next engine arrives, we'll do an attack in here. Why European mods are amazing? I don't think that European mods are amazing. I just think that the Americans discovered emergency so late that the talent that the European guys had developed over the course of 5-6 years just wasn't there for the Americans. And what a lot of Americans just ended up doing was just creating sub modifications for LA modification, which is a shame in my eyes. I would love to see some single standing American modifications, like they actually did with the Manhattan mod, Brooklyn mod. Yeah, a guy like Hopper to do some work on Emergency 5 and actually create some universal scripts. That would probably be the thing that we needed for Emergency 5 actually to kickstart. Okay, so the second engine is on the scene. A double attack, and then we will connect it up to a tanker. I think we got the fire spread in most directions. There's still a risk of the fire actually spreading over to this pile over here. But other than that, we should be rather safe. Harbor City, I think that's okay, but I'm lacking a lot of scripts. I mean, almost everything in that mod is manual. And in a lot of places it's just a rework of what Hopper did with LA modification. So in my opinion it's more for a sub mod. And Montana mod, I actually did some scripts for him. I don't know if he actually implemented it, but there are yield signs around his map. So vehicles will actually pull up to yield signs and stop for a second before crossing.
A fire has been reported, cause unknown, extinguish all fires.
And I did that for him. A fire. Just gonna call this in manually. I also worked alongside him with some other scripts for his mod. I don't recall which scripts it was though. Is this empty, or why are you not extinguishing? What on earth is happening? Now the fire is spreading, great. Yeah, I've seen the videos It's Boy is making with his rework of LA modification. And he's also super talented, like he has done a ton of different stuff for the community. Yeah, the seawater script. Yeah, I like that. It's a bit like the one I did for this modification, actually, Agerskov, where you can connect to nearby creeks and lakes. It's a bit of the same thing he did. Extinguish the rest of this fire. Police cars following traffic laws. It's not gonna happen, I'm sorry. And it's something to do with the way that emergency path finds. You guys might not notice, but in front of these intersections, for instance, there are some virtual objects, and it's what keeps the civilian vehicles from driving out into intersections. And emergency vehicles ignore these virtual objects, and that's basically why it's not possible for them to follow traffic laws. Again, that's another thing that I would love for a rework of Emergency 4 to include. Okay, I think we're gonna do what we're gonna do right now is that we're gonna stop playing Agerskov, and then I will switch over to AT Modification, and we can play a little bit of that.